Hey, girl.
Hey.
Thank you, Flaw. Thank you, darling. Okay, so this is the Mind, Body, Energy, and Balance show, and I thank everybody for coming on and listening. And I have wonderful guests this evening. Our sister girl, Xola of Crystal Jawn fame and flame. Hey, darling.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I'm excited to be here. This is wonderful. I'm happy you started this podcast. It's really good.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm excited. I have so many messages that I want to offer and share with people. And now this time period that we're living in allows you to do so many things. You can podcast, you can vlog, you can live, you can just do so many things. So I'm thankful to be able to interview such dynamic Afropreneurs as yourself.
Thank you.
So, Xola, you are a crystal maven, right? I'm just giving you all kind of titles. Tell me how you got into crystals.
So, it's funny because when you're kind of meant to really embrace something, I think it always happens unintentionally. Mm-hmm. So when I first got into crystals, it was just one crystal I had. It was one crystal I had, and I was in a situation where the living environment was kind of toxic. But this one room that I had this one crystal in, it was always just like very peaceful, it was like I wanted to be in that room. I wanted to be around that crystal, all the time. So just trying to understand why that was. Like people would come over and be like, do you have a plant in this room? Like, the energy is just so different in here. It feels different. What did you do? And I'm like, I didn't do anything, but I got this big crystal. So, I don't really know what it is. I just got it because it looks pretty. And just from that, it was a big piece of amethyst. And some of the attributes for amethyst is de-stressing, anti-anxiety, calming, relaxing, third eye, meditating, all that. So once I got that crystal, I started to learn, okay, there's many crystals. And then you start to learn the earth is a crystal. You start to learn just like so many things. And even just younger, I feel like we all are naturally connected to the earth. Like when I was younger, I always collected those shiny rocks. I always collected those seashells. I always like to have me some pretty flowers gathered. Things like that. I think as we get older, just the busy with life and other things, we get blocked out of certain things that we were naturally inclined to. Like, okay, I got to worry about this bill, so I don't have time to collect pretty rocks, or I have to do this. I don't have time to, do this anymore. So that's kind of just how I stumbled into learning about crystals. I just bought one. And then the universe just started opening up my eyes to the knowledge and the power of crystals. And I started doing my research. And it's just like, and people think I'm really heavy with the knowledge. And I'm like, I just know like the scratch on the top of the surface, because like many things, crystals are something that you would need to dedicate so much time to learn so much about them, because it's a big thing. Like even if I liked birds and I wanted to study birds and learn everything about birds, it would be a
huge undertaking. It's a huge undertaking. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, your work speaks for itself. I've gotten several pieces from you. I've been in the presence of people who have gotten, their crystals from you. And it really is, from my perspective, it is an ancestral calling, for somebody who can, share that type of knowledge. Even though, like you said, you just scratching the surface, that's all well and good. You bring in your ancestral entourage to what it is that you are doing, So I know you have a big event coming up this weekend.
Yes.
Right. Before we get into that, right, because we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, share with me what some of your experiences, through this these spiritual implements and tools that you use have affected in terms of the COVID, in terms of this whole breakdown, this situation. What have you experienced and witnessed from people, using these, coming to get crystals for the COVID and the rest?
So definitely, with the COVID going on, a lot of people have turned to natural crystals. to help with healing and to help with protecting, and crystals are more preventing than, they're more like preventive medicines, they're like, if I set these things up, so, you won't have to worry about this or the 5G or the radiation or things like that. So I definitely got a huge, influx with people trying to get the crystals, because there was like a lot of correlation that people were putting between COVID and 5G. So they wanted crystals to protect them from this 5G, to protect them from this radiation, because that's really what it is about. It's like everything's in balance, and then we do things that cause the earth to be out of balance, and then different things show up. The earth is just like how your own body is. Like everything could be in balance. You might drink a soda and then you got a pimple. So, like if you pollute your body, you're going to get certain things to happen. When you pollute the earth, you get certain things to happen, whether it's volcanoes or tsunamis or disease, So, but the thing about that is the universe, the creator put a cure here for everything too. But when the earth is sick, it will have reactions. So yeah, I got definitely with the shungite. That was like a number one. I couldn't keep it in stock. Shungite is a very powerful stone. You find it only in Russia. And it's basically a stone that it's a detox stone. So you could put it in your bath with you to detox. You could put it in your water to purify your water. And you could go test your water. I've tested my water at Home Depot, Lowe's, with and without the shungite to see the difference. You could test the water to see how it works. And it also protects against radiation. So there's been tests conducted and videos that I've seen by people who I trust, who have used those radioactive cameras, video recorders. And what they do is they put something in the microwave and you see the radiation coming out. And then when you put the shungite in front of it, you see that it creates a barrier. The radiation so it does keep those things at bay. So, there was definitely a huge, I actually had created a 5G set that had about 6 different stones in it for protection. It was fluorite, shungite, pyrite, clear quartz, hematite. I can't think of the last one, but I couldn't keep them in stock. So definitely turning back to those natural elements to create a protection for yourself. That's all we could do. It's like you could just keep your house together. You can't control what they're going to do with the world, and you can't stop them from making these towers or making this 5G. You could just best protect yourself.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful service that you are providing us, and the community at large, because people are turning to natural ways of doing things and going back to Mother Earth. I've seen from my own wellness business with the antiviral waters and, the fire ciders and the black garlic and the rest of the stuff that, that I'm offering people to help balance it out. And the other thing I want to say, and I know you probably agree, just because they don't open the doors now, we still have to keep up our regimen of healing and protection and the rest of it, just because they don't open the doors, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't even know what's going on anymore. I don't know what color we're in. I don't know if we're in yellow, green, red, I don't even know what's going on anymore. But that's the thing too. We have to be consistent. We can't just be like, I was shooken up, so now I started this new health thing or this new wellness thing, but then I abandoned it, and nothing even works for you if you don't be consistent with it. So people might have something, they say, I had this stone, I tried it for like a week, I didn't get any results. No, it's consistency. You're not going to work out for a week and be 20 pounds thinner. You have to do consistency. So just like with many things with the stones, even with the wellness things that you offer, it has to be a consistent thing to help rebuild up your aura, to help rebuild up your immune system, and things like that. And when people sometimes you just want instant results or, I tried that, I use that, but it has to be a lifestyle,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I remember you are known for bringing people together in the most beautiful ways. Last year, we had the Goddess in the Garden event. And it's an interesting piece for me because I had Spirit had given me that that moniker about 5 years ago, to have a Goddess in the Garden event, because I used to go to the garden parties in Philly that, you know, were absolutely wonderful, especially when we had them at the Horticultural Center. And then, you know, lately, in the most recent time, we had them at One Art, right? And so when I saw that you were having this Goddess in the Garden, and I went, and it was just amazing. It was, but let me tell you, honey, it was so much sage being burned there. I was high off the sage.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I feel that. And that's a such thing. Absolutely.
I was like, oh my God. So now, you know, you have that reputation. Like, that's, people know you for bringing us together in a wonderful way, in your harmonious way. All of the metaphysicians and healers and speakers and vendors, you know, all trying to give good products and services to people, you know, to help balance out their energy. And you have a wonderful event coming up this weekend. Let's talk about that. Let's get into that. The Crystal Jawn, Philly Jawn, Cookout Jawn.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
What is the actual name, sis?
So it's Philly Crystal Cookout, and this is our second annual event for it. And, you know, with the COVID, with everything going on, I was a little bit discouraged, and I was like, I don't know if we could do it this year. We might just cancel it. And everybody was like, you know, just telling me like, no, we have to figure out a way to do it. So my thing was, you know, we are people who adapt, and, you know, we make the best out of what situation we're under. And I was like, we'll just do it virtually. You know, why not? They done did the BET Awards virtually, you know, so many things.
That's
I've seen concerts virtually. So we're going to offer it virtually this year. And I'm very excited for it. A lot of people who came out last year, we had over 300 people come from all over. And they were just like, you know, how can you include us? Because at first it was like, maybe we'll do a small one with Philly, which is a certain amount of people from Philly. But then just that national Crystal family was like, you can't leave us out of this. So yeah, so we're going to have it. We're going to have it online. So what I like to do is, for every time I have an event, every single event that I have, I always like to honor either an elder or an ancestor. You know, that's something that I think is in our culture, something that's tradition that we've gotten away from, you know? So we have to always, you know, honor our ancestors, not just, you know, when it recently transitioned or when it's just their birthday or things like that. It has to be a constant thing that we do. So this year we want to dedicate Philly Crystal Cookout in remembrance to the great and late Delbert Africa, who was a part of the MOVE organization. He had been wrongfully imprisoned for I believe 4 decades.
40 years.
Yeah. So he was recently released, and then he recently transitioned. So and, you know, in Philly, we have a lot of gems here. We have a lot, you know, and I tell people all the time, I'm like, you know, I collect some such rare stones, but we have such a strong, rich history of just like people who are just really just like genuine, just like upright people. So I wanted to honor him, and I also wanted to fundraise for the MOVE organization. So before COVID happened, I was also planning to work with Mike Africa Jr. to help him. You know, he's been to my events. He's seen how they've gone. He's like, Xola, I want you on board to help me plan the 20th anniversary of the MOVE bombing. Like, what can we do that'll really move the people? Because that's another history that happened in the city that we've been kind of like, everyone sweeps under the rug. You know, it's very recent. I grew up 3 blocks down from where it happened. So, you know, and we just never thought, we always thought, oh, these were such bad people, because why would the government bomb people? Why would they bomb children? Why would they do this? And then you get older and you just understand things a lot easier. And you just, you know, you understand spiritual warfare and things like that. So you could get why things like that can happen. So this year we're going to start off that first day. We're going to open up in remembrance to Brother Delbert Africa. And then we will have a fundraising for the MOVE organization. Mike Africa will do a lecture. And we have the great artist Felicia Felicia George. She's going to perform a beautiful piece that she's dedicated to the MOVE organization. She's a very popular poet. So she reached out and she's like, hey, I want to be a part of this. And that's when I know spirit moves you the right way, because it's like the right people show up. You know, you be trying to do something, somebody knock on your door like, hey, can I do this? And you're like, well, this is perfect. So that's kind of how she came about. And because I've had some poems from her before, and they really have touched me. And I wasn't going to I didn't think she would be able to physically be there. And I was just going to go on the live and play, like show some of her videos. And she was like, you think I'm going to miss this? Like, I'll be there. So she's like, you don't have to play my videos. I'll be performing live. So, it's just going to all be on Instagram. So follow at Crystal Jawn, Crystal spelled regular, Jawn, just like Philly Jawn. And it's going to be just like an all day, 3-day event. We're supposed to be getting rain this weekend. So hopefully everybody be at home and just tuning in, you know? So
absolutely. And so the lineup then people will be encouraged or have a schedule where they can go to the various live pages and see the performances and the offerings of the people that are in the lineup. Is that how it's going to flow? Intention for it to flow?
So what happens is when a person goes live, I go live, I open up my live, they come onto my live. For some cases, like for all the virtual vendors, they're all coming onto my live. But for the performers, what we're going to do is when the vending is over, we're sending them, hey, head over to this page. This is where we're going now for this performance, or this is where we're going now for this lecture. Because, of course, I don't have everlasting battery, so I can't stay on me the whole time. That's what we'll do. In between, I'll be able to charge up and things like that. But we're just going to keep it all online. I was going to have a few people come over, but now that I heard it's going to be rainy all weekend, we're just going to keep it all online.
Yeah, and it's from 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. So virtually 12 hours, 11 and a half hours of Black folk joining.
That's right. And it's going to be it will actually, right now, it's the biggest virtual festival to take place. So if it goes off right, it'd be the first of its kind, and it'd be the biggest of its kind and the longest of its kind. And I'm sure, we get nervous, and but I'm sure that it will go well, because I always get like really overwhelmed, like, oh, I'm not promoting it enough, or I'm not doing this enough. But I'm only one person. I can't exhaust my energy. I have to keep my cup filled. So I do everything that I can do, and I trust that the universe, whoever is good for, will be there. And and I always just purify my intention. I'm not vending or anything. I just want to do this for the people. I think it'll be good for the people. So, I think a lot of the lineups that we have will be super inspirational, super inspirational and informational. And and they'll get the crystals, and and they'll get the wellness and the yoga, and it just be really good for the community. Just with everything going on. Sometimes people don't think that you're allowed to be joyful because things are going on. So I had a few artists who pulled out and they said, hey, Xola, we wanted to do it, but we don't feel like it's a time to celebrate, but because people getting, you're seeing this on the news left to right. This person is, the protesting, the looting, so they just was like, we don't feel like we're supposed to be joyful. But that's like you are punishing yourself for the actions of oppressors or things like that. Why would you punish yourself? Every single day for you is a victory. So why would you feel like you're not supposed to be joyful, or you're not supposed to be celebrating? You have to walk around sad because the world around you is seemingly on fire. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I respect it, but I don't think that's how we're supposed to be. That causes a lot of other diseases, just having that stress and having that weight on your shoulders when you don't know how to, even through everything we've been through, we knew how to have joy.
That's right.
We never said, hey, we got this going on with us, and we're working on these fields, so we can't be joyful. No, we found ways to be joyful. I think that's in our tradition, that's in our culture, to find ways to be joyful regardless of what's going on. And I think, and that's why we're so resilient. We're so resilient. That's why we're able to turn all those frowny things into smiley things, because, we're very resilient and optimistic. So unfortunately, a few artists did pull out, but it's fine. I always respect people's decision. And, and I don't want to have someone up there, depressed trying to do something. It's like, if you need a moment, just don't come over. I don't want you up on here you on a live and then you having a whole breakdown or something. They say Crystal Jawn made her come on the live and she had you not ready to be here, don't be here. See you next year.
I think that is a wise call, my dear, because because the reality of it is that we are supposed to be joyful, and that is a part of our people's gifts, that we find our way to remain. The minute that we lose that, it is over. It's over. Mm-hmm. So, we have to celebrate the goodness of life, the goodness of God, the
Absolutely.
good community, the goodness of the capacity to still come together in spite of and despite whatever the external circumstances are. And we are bringing the people together. Like, you got 12 hours each day of stuff happening, and you got yoga, you have, performers, you have vending, you have somebody doing live painting, you got singers, you got, we got prayer, we have celebration of goodness. And so we really have to make sure that people know, this is 3 days of wonderfulness, and 3 days of joyful exchange around the country of people who want to share in, the Philly Jawn Cookout. I don't ever know. I just always.
That's all you gotta do, because that's how they say in Philly.
Dyslexic, huh?
That's how they say it in Philly. The Jawn going down this weekend, a 3-day Jawn, the Philly Jawn. So you got
right.
it. Just go to Jawn
is going down, and we're gonna be jawned up.
Absolutely. Look, I went and got my outfits together today, because I'm gonna be doing outfit changes and everything.
Oh my goodness!
We're gonna bring it.
All right, honey. All right, girl. You're gonna be changing. Okay, wardrobe change. All right, tell everybody how they can tune in this weekend, Crystal. Xola.
So if you want to email specifically, you can email crystaljawn@gmail.com, and I can send you a schedule. So you can email crystaljawn@gmail.com, or you could just follow the Instagram, Crystal Jawn on Instagram, and you could just stay tuned. And there's going to be a lot of direction more closer to that day, but we do have a schedule out there.
Sure.
Unfortunately, the schedule was made before every slot was filled in, so it's a little more going on than what's on the schedule. But there's a good overview with the schedule.
Sure.
And just stay tuned. I'm gonna keep. I do the post. I keep everybody posted. Just tap into that Instagram when you wake up until you go to sleep.
That's right.
and let everybody know, because it's gonna be as big as we want it to be, and I'm feeling like it's gonna be big.
That's right. Well, healing, love, joy, and coming together of our community on all the various levels is what is to be expected in this 3-day weekend, grand cookout virtual event that is sponsored by the Crystal Jawn, and it's the Philly Jawn Crystal Cookout Jawn Crystal thing.
There you go. That's right. Go to Jawn's in it. And we also have 4 food wellness vendors for food, and you can place orders. I'll be releasing their menus. You can place orders; they'll deliver food right to your home. So this is a big chance to collect, to basically support the people who support us. So it's a bunch of healers. There's a lot of people who are into health and wellness. A lot of holistic things going on. And it's a good time if we're all about, buying Black and supporting the Black community and being mindful of the Black dollar. This is a time to really tap in,
Right.
And so definitely, if you did the blackout on the 7th, don't black out this weekend. Come out,
That's
come
right.
out, hop on the live. And we just have it, just very beautifully lined up in a way that it kind of just all went together. So I was able to secure some virtual vendors, vegan, very, very good food, juices. Some people are doing juices, smoothies, and you could just order. You could place an order, and while you're at home doing your, watching the event, boom, your food come right to you.
Your food is coming right to you. Now that is Black power right there.
Yes.
That's Black Power. Absolutely. All right, my dear. Well, we want to thank you for coming on. We'll make sure that this goes far and wide, and I will see you all 3 days,
Yes.
celebrating, this beautiful coming together. And thank you so much for your beautiful spirit and organizing, this gathering of our nation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Right.
Take care.
Take care. Peace and love. Peace and love. All right. That's Xola, everybody, of the Crystal Jawn, and the Crystal Jawn Cookout will be this virtual cookout will be this weekend on Instagram. Follow her on her page, Crystal Jawn, at Crystal Jawn, and you can see the lineup. She has all of the speakers, or many of the speakers that will be there, and the time slots. And it is just going to be an awesome event. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you then, and thank you so much for taking the time to stop by and tune into the Mind, Body, Energy, and Balance show. You could be doing anything, but I appreciate you for coming by, and be kind to each other, be loving to each other, and care for each other. Okay, see you soon. Peace and love.